call to order this September 6th meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Greater Dayton Regional Transit Authority. I would now ask all persons present to please rise and recite with me the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd please ask all persons present to please silence or turn off your cell phones during the course of the meeting. And I'll ask the secretary to please call the roll of the board members.
Yes, sir. Mr. Whitmore.
Present.
Mr. Lumpkin.
Here.
Mr. Corrado.
Present.
Mr. Fullerton.
Here.
Ms. Garrison.
Here.
Ms. Bird. Ms. Howard.
Present.
Ms. Matthew Stinson.
Here.
And Mr. Webbison.
Here.
Thank you. We have 8 of 9 present.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. The roll having been called, the chair declares that a quorum is present. The bylaws of the Greater Dayton Regional Transit Authority require that prior to a meeting of the Board of Trustees, the board approves the agenda for the meeting. Prior to today's meeting, a copy of today's meeting agenda was provided to all board members for review. Does the executive director or any board member have any requested changes or corrections to or objections to approval of the agenda? Hearing none, the chair will declare the agenda approved as presented. Also prior to today's meeting, the minutes of the June 7, 2022 board meeting were provided to all board members for review. Does any board member request a reading of the minutes, have any changes or corrections to, or have any objections to the approval of those minutes? Hearing none, the chair will declare the minutes of the June 7, 2022 board meeting approved as presented. That brings us to our committee reports. First up, Finance Personnel Committee, Ms. Belinda Matthews-Stenson.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. The Finance, Personnel, and Planning Committees held a meeting on August 16th, and as a result, the Finance Personnel Committee is recommending one action item for the board's consideration. Action item number 2, approval of procurement policies. In preparation for RTA's upcoming Federal Transit Administration Triennial Review, staff has reviewed procurement policies and changes are recommended. Suggested updates are focused on current rules and regulations as well as ease of administration. The intent is to make our internal and external customer experience convenient and seamless within the confines of applicable rules and regulations. During staff's review, it was determined that several procurement policies are in fact procedures. Mrs. Stanforth and Ms. Howard presented this action item at our meeting, and the supporting information is included in today's board package. Staff is available to answer any questions the board may have at this time. Hearing none, based upon the recommendation of the Finance Personnel Committee, I move that the Board of Trustees rescind all previous procurement policies and adopt new procurement policies number 1, Affirmative Action Assurance Program Certification, number 2, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program, and number 3, Procurement Administration.
A motion has been properly made and seconded. Is there any more discussion, questions, or comments concerning the motion? Hearing none, I would ask, well, it seems a long time that I didn't have to ask the secretary to call the roll on Zoom, so it's kind of fun to say. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Action item number 2 is approved.
I also have a couple of other items to mention. At our meeting, Mrs. Stanforth reviewed the July 2022 financial report. On the revenue side, year-to-date total revenues are $39.9 million compared to a budget of $41.9 million. Total revenues are $2 million below budget due to lower passenger revenues and lower assistance from state and federal governments, offset by higher sales tax receipts. On the expense side, year-to-date total expenses are $34.3 million compared to a $42.8 million budget. At $8.5 million positive variance results. With the exception of purchase transportation, all expense categories are under budget as we continue to operate at reduced service levels. In summary, after deducting year-to-date federal, state, and local depreciation totaling $10 million and deducting an investment mark-to-market adjustment of $1.9 million, RTA's audit-adjusted loss after 7 months is $6.3 million. The complete July 2022 financial report is included in your board package. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Matthews Stenson. Next up is the Planning Committee, Ms. Sharon Howard.
Good afternoon. The Finance, Personnel, and Planning Committees met for a jointly held meeting on August 16th, and as a result, the Planning Committee is recommending 3 action items for the board's consideration. Action item number 3, approval of Educational Financial Assistance Program Policy number 9. Mr. Brandon Palachicchio explained that the purpose of updating this policy is to create more access to the program and increase the level of employee training and development. The Educational Financial Assistance Program policy, enclosed, is designed to financially support undergraduate and graduate degree programs for qualified and approved full-time, non-represented employees. The policy provides payment for tuition, fees, and books directly related to an approved degree program. Based upon the recommendation of the Planning Committee, I move to update as enclosed and amended the Educational Financial Assistance Program Customer Business Development Policy number 9.
Second.
Motion has been properly made and seconded. Is there any further discussion, questions, or comments concerning the pending motion? Hearing none, I will ask that all board members in favor of the motion please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Action item number 3 is approved.
Action item number 4, update to TAP pay terms and conditions. Mr. Palachicchio explained that the purpose of updating the adopted terms and conditions associated with RTA's Fair Payment System TAP Pay is to account for current and future changes to the system. The updated terms and conditions provided governs the access to and the use of the TAP Pay system and is available to the public on RTA's website. Upon approval by the board, the RTA continues to reserve the right to modify these terms and conditions from time to time as needed. Based upon the recommendation of the Planning Committee, I move to adopt the updated TAP pay terms and conditions as provided.
Second.
Motion has been properly made and seconded. Is there any further, are there any further questions, comments, or discussion about the motion pending? Hearing none, I would ask that all board members who approve of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Any abstentions? Action item number 4 is approved.
Action item number 5, revised rules of the Road and Facilities Code of Conduct. Mr. Policicchio explained that the purpose of this action item is to revise the existing RTA Rules of the Road and Facilities Code of Conduct due to recent changes in the Ohio Revised Code that are effective on September 13th, 2022. The Rules of the Road and Facilities Code of Conduct will continue being used as a tool to maintain a safe and convenient environment within RTA facilities and onboard RTA vehicles. Based upon the recommendation of the Planning Committee, I move to approve the revised Rules of the Road and Facilities Code of Conduct. Furthermore, that the Chief Executive Officer be authorized to publish appropriate legal notices and post the Rules of the Road Facilities Code of Conduct within RTA facilities and onboard RTA vehicles.
Motion has been properly made and seconded. Are there any further questions, comments, or discussion about the pending motion? Hearing none, all those board members in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Any abstentions? Action item number 5 is approved.
That concludes my update, and I am available if there are any additional questions.
Thank you, Ms. Howard. Next up is the Chief Executive Officer's report. Mr. Rosinski.
I just wanted to give a few updates on ridership trends lately. We've had a couple of major things happen since the last time we met as a board. One was the free summer fairs on the weekends. That's been very successful, and it's actually been copied by some other transit systems in Ohio, which I think is a great sign of flattery. So I was very proud that they decided to do that. We did decide to extend that through January 1st, which is a Sunday. That's why we picked January 1st versus December 31st, to continue to try to build that weekend ridership. I can tell you that the weekend ridership on Sunday has exploded, much greater than we had anticipated. During the month of May, we averaged 6,676 riders on an average Sunday. That was before any changes. When we went to the free weekend fairs, that average increased to 8,423. And then when we changed service several weeks ago, the average has now jumped up to 12,276 on a Sunday. So we knew there was pent-up demand there. We just weren't sure how great. Saturday has also seen some very good growth, not quite as explosive, but Sunday service has always been extremely limited. So we've kind of brought that into the realm of the rest of the days by having our same service 7 days a week. We also had the Dayton Public School year start. And as we've all known from the media, they decided to buy RTA bus passes for a lot of their students. So far, that has gone, I would say, pretty well. Roland, would you? Pretty well. We have not had any major incidents. And ridership is up about 12% on school days. So we have some very positive ridership trends. Once we compile probably once we get through September, we'll probably do a comprehensive report for you guys to show you the impacts of all these things. But things are finally moving in the right direction. And then Brandon shared with me the other day a chart that compared Ohio systems and the national average for pre-COVID and post-COVID. And the 4 big Ohio systems are above the national average on ridership returns, and we're third from the top. So of the various Ohio systems. So that's pretty encouraging too. You know, we're still down 35% or so overall, but we're creeping back up there. So that is all I have.
Bob, the students, do they have to transfer at Right Stop Plaza?
They are just like any other general public, so whatever their needs are, they will transfer at whatever location they need to. Their passes are just
okay?
normal adult passes.
Okay.
So
Not having any issues at the plaza with?
we have not had any major incidents that I've been made aware of, and I've been down there several days. The Dayton Public Schools sends a couple of their employees, at least I've seen them on several times, resource officers, just to help keep the peace. We have extra TAs and staff down there. I think the kids have been pretty respectful. I'm very positive that will continue hopefully, and it'll be good.
Thank you, Bob. Is there any old business? I don't believe there is any old business to come before the board. If there is, speak up. Otherwise, we're going to move to new business. And we do have an item of new business, and that is a report from the nominating committee and Mr. Vince Corrado.
Yeah, we do have a lot of to report, and that's the changing of the guard. Anyway, I passed out a report to each of you, and I'd like to go through it and read it. This is the Greater Dayton RTA 2022-23 Nominating Committee Report, which is submitted for this board meeting. In accordance with the RTA bylaws, the board's nominating committee, consisting of Sharon D. Howard, Al Folenkamp, and myself as acting as chair, wish to nominate John A. Lumpkin as president and Sharon D. Howard as vice president for the calendar year 2022-23. It should be noted that the nominating committee in voting for the above officers, Mr. Folenkamp and myself, voted yes, while Ms. Howard abstained. Additionally, I have contacted each one of the board members concerning this officer succession plan, and I'm happy to report that all board members fully supported the efforts and results of the nominations. The newly re-elected officers shall be voted in at the September 6th, 2022 Board of Trustees meeting and installed at the October 4th, 2022 Board of Trustees meeting. So, David, this is your last hurrah.
Oh, no, it's okay.
The elected officers shall be tasked with establishing chairs for each of the board's committee, planning, finance, and investment, as well as member assignments for each of those committees. We want to thank Mr. Williamson for his many years of service to RTA and our community. And I might add that David's in his fourth 3-year term of serving on the board. So congratulations. And while we also appreciate Mr. Lumpkin for continuing his service and willingness for agreeing to serve as board president for the upcoming calendar year. At the same time, we want to welcome Ms. Howard as she joins the RTA leadership team. Please know that your leadership and continued involvement are very much appreciated and is significant as we move the RTA agenda into next year. So with that, I'd like to make a motion that we nominate John L. Lumpkin as president and Sharon D. Howard as vice president for the 2022-2023 calendar year.
Second.
Motion has been properly made and seconded. Is there any more discussion, questions, or comments about the pending motion? John, last chance to speak now or forever hold your peace.
Oh, he said John L. Lumpkin. I thought that guy was coming in.
Okay, all right.
We'll have to get the crown out.
Get the crown out. Well, that'll be next meeting. We'll get the crowns out. All right, all those in favor of the motion to elect Mr. Lumpkin as president and Ms. Howard as vice president for the 22-23 calendar year, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Any abstentions?
I abstain.
I'm abstaining.
And please note that both Mr. Lumpkin and Ms. Howard abstain. And also note earlier the declaration of a quorum. We have a sufficient vote for the remainder. And the motion carries. Congratulations. Let me also, rather than wait until public comments, because this is the appropriate place to do so, is to thank Mr. Corrado for his service as chair of the nominating committee for all these years. It's a very important task and one that requires people skills, and Vince will be stepping down off of the board, and there'll be a lot more formal thank yous later, but I want to personally thank him for his wisdom and his advice to me as I step off of the executive position. Vince has been a great help and a good friend. So thank you, Vince. That brings us to, anything further, Mr. Corrado? That's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that brings us to public comment. And we do have two folks who have signed up. And let me remind our commenters that anyone wishing to address the board must speak on his or her own behalf. Please come to the lectern if you are physically able, and if unable, a handheld microphone will be brought to you. Please state your name and address, and after doing so, you'll have 3 minutes to make your comments. When 30 seconds remain, the secretary will say 30 seconds, and a yellow light will come on. When 3 minutes are up, the secretary will say stop, and a red light will come on, and you must cease speaking and leave the lectern or surrender the microphone. The first person to speak is Annie Johnson.
Good evening. Is it on?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
My name is Annie Johnson. I am an RTA employee of
Need an address from you, Ms. Johnson.
5324 Mayberry Place, Dayton, Ohio.
Thank you.
45415. I am an employee of RTA for 25 years. 10 years as a fixed route operator, 15 years in maintenance. And I have never, in 25 years, seen this company operate the way it's operating. I've seen in maintenance so many mechanics leaving. The morale is awfully, awfully low. I give 110% when I come to work. I have an excellent work record. I don't call off work. And I'm here speaking because of the way the service has been changed. I moved my mother here from New York, which is a mass transit, at age 85. I moved her here 7 years ago. She learned the transit system. She lives in a senior community where a bus that was coming in servicing her area was cut. A lot of the seniors ride the bus in that area, which is the Route 66 and 65. At age 65, and she loves riding the bus, at age 85, she has to catch 2 buses to get to where she needs to go, and she has to come downtown in order to do that. And I fear for her health and safety, and I'm awfully, awfully concerned that the service that is being provided is not being provided to the seniors. It's being provided to accommodate a certain amount of people. She used to ride the Route 24, which took her directly to where she needed to go. Now, in order to get there, she has to ride 2 buses, catch 2 buses, like I said. I only have another 3 years to work here. And I'm praying, I pray every day that I come to work,
30 seconds.
that I'm able to stay here for the next 3 years. I would love to retire from RTA, but it's getting extremely, extremely hard to even come to work under the conditions that are going on now. So I hope all of you take into consideration and look at the service that the customers are receiving. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Mr. Kevin Frazier.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kevin Frazier. My address is 555 Recess Drive. And to some of you, you may recognize me as being the president of Amalgamated Transit Union, Local 1385. I'm here to speak on a lot of things. First of all, I'm listening to the reports, ridership, on a Sunday. I've been here for 25 years also. And in the 25 years plus, the number of buses that was coming out of this garage on a Sunday service this public above and beyond its needs, truly above and beyond. And today, it still will. Those extras, whatever, 12% increase, RTA on the weekends is considered the hotel RTA. Because those free rides, what's going to happen when they diminish, when they going? You think ridership's still going to be up? It's not. I'm like her. In 25 years, I have never, ever witnessed such attacks on these employees, including myself. Seriously, attacks by management. I am so sick and tired of hearing, I got to eat too. You know what that means? You really want to know what that means? That you don't agree with what's going on. You're just not going to say anything because you want that check every week. I understand that and I respect it. But if you guys, ladies and gentlemen, care to do some kind of survey amongst management, maybe offer some amnesty going on, guess what? If they will be honest with you like they have been honest with me, you'll find out that this place is in disarray. It is truly in disarray. I've worked under 3 CEOs since I've been in this company. Vice president for 7.5 years, president for a year and 18 months, 6 days now. I came in here with grand genders of being able to work across the table, sit across the table, and negotiate, because that's what I always have done. I am not a liar. I'm not a deceiver. Okay, I'm not. You can ask anybody around here, and management included. I'm not that guy. I'm not. But what I'm witnessing today is a straight attack on this membership. Members with 30 years of seniority, 30 years, can't get a weekend off. Can't get a weekend off.
30 seconds.
Holidays stripped away. Past practices, presidents just looked across like they never even existed. I'll pour you, sorry, I ask you to please get involved, because there's something seriously wrong going on in this company right now. And I'm not the problem, I guarantee you. But if you want to help solve it, I'll be glad to work with you. Congratulations on your nominations. I hope you got a better golf game than Mr. Williamson, because if you don't, you can stay off the course too. Thank you for your time, everyone.
That brings us to board member comments. And I'm going to start to my far right with Sharon. You're up first, I think.
Based on comments that were just made, I think I'll save my comments for later.
Okay.
My only comment would be for everyone to stay healthy. It looks like everyone's fairly healthy here now. COVID's going around again, so take all your precautions. Thank you.
Mr. Lumpkin?
I too would like to say it's good to see everybody in person, and for everyone to stay healthy. And thank you for your nomination. And no, I cannot play golf, but I'm glad you set the bar low so there won't be any disappointments when I get out.
Unfortunately, there's comments of being the permanent public record forever, so. And I'm only one match away from playing Mr. Stinson for the league championship, so.
Really?
So you don't even know that, do you? So.
You get in that league.
That's right. Miss Matthew Stinson.
I didn't have any comments until you said you were playing my husband for the championship.
We're both, they have to win their match, we have to win our match, and then we meet in the World Series, so.
Okay. Best of luck to my husband. Thank you.
Thank you. Vince?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody on the board, past, present, future. It's been an interesting 9 years, both personally and here at the RTA. But I think we've accomplished a lot in the last 9 years, going through this pandemic and everything we had to do to get through it, and so did everybody else, was a pretty phenomenal thing. And I like to think in the last 9 years, I think it seems like we replaced our whole entire fleet. which sends a legacy at least for the next 20 years. And the other thing is I'm kind of pleased that I had an opportunity involved in this nominating committee because I think succession planning is really important. And I think we have a lot of people on this board who've served multiple terms and are continuing to, willingness to do it. So Al's going to be doing that in the years to come, and I'm sure he's going to be calling on some of the other people. I want to thank the staff. Kathy always made sure I got my package 2 days before. Sometimes she delivered it herself when she was my neighbor. Now she's left us and moved to Beaver Creek. Mary, Brandon, the rest of the staff, and our drivers and our mechanics, boy, they make it go. And I'll tell you, one last comment is we have the best looking buses in the country. I don't care wherever I go, our fleet looks clean, represents the community, and so that's something to be proud of. Anyway, thanks, folks.
Sharon?
I just want to thank Vince. He was one of the mentors when I got here, and I just appreciate everything he did to help get me up to speed. I also want to say, you all probably remember Anthony Whitmore. On Thursday, as a founding member of the Dayton Area Broadcasters Hall of Fame, I get the honor of watching Anthony receive one of the Community Service Awards.
Great.
And that Community Service Award is given to leaders in the community who have been really friends and supportive of area broadcasters. So I just want to say thank you to I think the RTA bought a table, so there'll be people there cheering Anthony on. And I just wanted to make sure the board was aware.
Please feel free to give our best regards and congratulations to Anthony.
I will.
Always a good friend of RTA. Okay, there is no request for executive session. So, triple check the agenda to make sure I'm not missing anything else. I don't think so. So, there being no further business to come before the board, I will simply remind all board members and the public at large that the next joint committee meeting will be September 20, 2022. The next investment advisory committee meeting will be October 20, 2022. And the next board meeting will be October 4, 2022. There being no further business to come before the board, are there any objections to the adjournment of this meeting? Hearing none, the chair will declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you.